Following breaking news out of Washington, CBS News confirms the Biden administration will send 1,500 active duty troops to the southern border. Now, it comes as the pandemic-era policy, Title 42, is set to end next week. The policy allows officials to expel migrants without processing asylum claims. Joining us now with more on this is CBS News reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez. All right, Camilo, let's talk a little bit about what we expect the troops to be doing at the border.
Good morning, Emery. These 1,500 active duty troops from the Department of Defense are set to play a support role along the U.S. Mexico border, assisting U.S. Customs and Border Protection with administrative duties like data entry and also transportation and other operational needs. It is very important to underscore that they will not play a role in detaining, stopping, or otherwise processing migrants and asylum seekers. And that is because under federal law, the military is generally barred from conducting civilian law enforcement. And that includes, obviously, immigration enforcement, which is overseen by the Department of Homeland Security. And this deployment of military troops, which has some historical precedent because other administrations have taken similar measures, stemmed from a request from the Department of Homeland Security, which is right now, as you mentioned, Anne-Marie, preparing for a spike in migration once the Title 42 pandemic-era restrictions on asylum-seeking migrants will end on May 11th.
So what's going on now, Camilo? In other words, I know that this has been an issue for a number of years, what's happening at the border, but why is the president choosing to do this at this particular juncture?
Well, Vlad, U.S. border officials have relied on this policy, Title 42, for over 3 years now to manage migration flows, especially under the Biden administration, which has faced an unprecedented migration crisis along the U.S. Mexico border. The number of migrants reaching U.S. soil there has reached record levels over the past years, and the administration has struggled to process them in an orderly fashion. And the number of people coming is expected to increase even more significantly once this policy is lifted, because officials will no longer have the legal authority to swiftly expel migrants back to Mexico or to their home countries without giving them a chance to seek asylum. Once Title 42 is lifted, Anne-Marie and Vlad, all migrants who reach U.S. soil will need to be processed, and if they ask for asylum, they will need to be given, at the very least, an asylum interview or a court hearing where they can present a case to an immigration judge. So that requires more time, more personnel, and more resources to process these large numbers of people. And that's why right now DHS is asking the Department of Defense for support assistance.
So then, Camilo, I'm sure the administration would prefer fewer people actually make it to the border, or think the border is the best option. So has the administration been doing anything else other than planning to send troops to the border, anything else to discourage people from heading to the border?
Yes. The short answer is yes. The administration right now is finalizing a sweeping regulation that would disqualify migrants from asylum if they cross into the U.S. illegally, Anne-Marie, after failing to seek protection in a third country like Mexico or Guatemala that they traveled through to get to the U.S. This is very similar to a regulation that the Trump administration tried to put in place before it was blocked by federal courts. So the administration believes that this regulation will deter migration and allow the U.S. to rapidly expel migrants who don't have valid asylum claims. The administration is also setting up processing centers in Guatemala and Colombia to process migrants there and to have them wait there for a chance to enter the U.S. legally or to be resettled in a country like Canada or Spain instead of crossing the U.S.-Mexico border illegally. They're also having some migrants come to ports of entry along the U.S.-Mexico border through a mobile app known as CBP-1. This allows hundreds of migrants to request appointments at ports of entry so they can enter the U.S. legally and request asylum, again, in an orderly way, instead of crossing in between those ports of entry across the river or in the desert illegally. But again, the open question, Anne-Marie and Vlad, is whether this strategy will work and ultimately deter significant number of people from coming after Title 42 is lifted in just a week.
All right, Camilo, thank you very much for your reporting. We appreciate it.
Of course.